Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to Truth Redemption, where I shovel a bunch of truth into your brains. So if you're new here, which a lot of you probably are because of the nature of this video, I am an ex-adult performer and a current adult startup owner, meaning I own a site that sells adult content. I guess kind of like Onlyfans, but different. So I would hope that my opinion on this matter would be taken with a little bit more credence than perhaps some of these gamer male YouTubers who are basically just trashing the girls that this happened to and mocking the whole situation in general. Now, I will say the situation has been blown up way more than necessary for what it is. I mean, porn is pirated every day. Get over it. Before we jump right into it, in modern YouTube days, subscriptions seem to mean almost nothing since YouTube just recommends people pretty much what they want to see, whether they're subscribed or not. So if you enjoy people's content, and not just mine, anybody's, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It helps us out. It helps us get taken more seriously by brands, and it helps us get taken more seriously by other colleagues. So it all kind of is one giant growth feedback loop. So it's one click for you, super meaningful for us, okay? For those of you with zero attention spans, here is everything I'm going to address in this video so you know what you're going to get. Why the Onlyfans leak was not really a leak. Hi, Bandit. 2, the somewhat silly response of some of the girls involved with the leak and how they maybe made things worse for themselves in that sense. 3, men on the internet who are being very disrespectful towards the girls, basically mocking them, being like, oh, well, you're getting naked on the internet. What do you expect? It's not worth anything. You're playing on recruit difficulty in life, like just that kind of thing. When OnlyFans is indeed a lot of these girls' main source of income. 4, what constitutes content in this day and age? People like to denigrate sexual content as not being real content. I want to address why it is in fact content, even if it's not worthwhile content to other people. Even if it's not worthwhile content to some people, that doesn't make it not content. Why people pay for OnlyFans and why it's worth paying for, and that goes for any type of adult content site. And lastly, I'm going to jump into this larger conversation of this sort of weird culture of if you're a girl who makes money off of her body or sexuality online, you're an e-girl or a thought, be it from OnlyFans or Patreon or premium Snapchats or all the various different avenues you can do this. And then also calls primarily men or just people who support them simps, cucks, like as if people who pay for girls' nudes online are somehow unable to get it in real life. Let's be real, I think across the board, most guys don't get as much sex as they'd like to get, no matter who they are. So mocking some men who maybe get even less sex than you do, I don't think is a very productive conversation. That's what we're talking about in this video. Not gonna ramble, let's get right into it. Number 1, why the OnlyFans leak was not in fact a leak. A leak implies the content came from within the company. Either someone within the company released the content or hackers were able to tap into the company's internal servers and get at the content. This is pretty clearly not the case with this leak. As someone who, like I said, owns a site that hosts and stores a lot of adult content, or actually any content really, whenever you go into making the sort of back-end infrastructure of whether it be an adult platform or any kind of platform that disseminates content, you have like a database that stores like the titles and the names and who's associated with it and blah blah blah, and then that database also is linked to an online storage. In my case, Amazon Web Services. Other people use their own private hosting. It's usually called a CDN. There will be like different buckets of photos and videos and those types of things. It's never going to be organized by the girl's name. In fact, most of the cases, girl, person, YouTuber, whatever, they're just an ID. They're just like this long string of characters, and they're associated with different folders with that ID that hosts their data or information or payment info or videos, photos, what have you. So a true data leak would not be nearly as convenient as what the OnlyFans leak actually looked like. The OnlyFans leak was, here's a girl's name, click inside the folder, photos, videos. Like, that is not how that would work. So this was clearly a compilation. Is it possible that someone hacked OnlyFans, ripped all this content, and then organized it and sorted it by girl's name? Possibly, but that would have taken a pretty long time. My understanding is the content is fairly recent of these girls, so if they ripped it recently, then they would have to go through all of those folders and subfolders and different strings of characters and things and turn it into something readable. I mean, unless it was some huge communal effort, really don't think this is what happened. What I think it was, and I certainly have never pirated Nintendo 3DS video games in my life, but if you wanted to pirate Nintendo 3DS games in your life, there are Reddit forums that aggregate such things into Google spreadsheets and they just keep it updated, and that's probably what this was. Now, I only found this in the random lurking. I didn't engage. A lot of pirates who aren't just doing the torrent thing, because the torrent thing is becoming more and more kind of sketchy. There are now, honestly, the biggest source of piracy is like Google spreadsheets probably. So that's all this was. Some forum somewhere, some Reddit section, something, a bunch of guys got together and put it together. I don't know why, I don't know what the motive was. What I really think it was is, you know, it costs so much money to subscribe to so many different girls, and a lot of guys like lots of different girls, so they basically were like, oh, I pay for these 3 girls and you pay for those 3 girls. Let's aggregate all our stuff and get economies of scale. And then the wrong person got invited to that group. So that's what I think this OnlyFans leak really was. The reason I'm bringing this up and why I think it's important to note that this was 95% chance, not an actual internal leak, is a few things. OnlyFans is a major source of a lot of girls in the adult industry's source of income. They make the most money on OnlyFans out of almost any other thing they could do. Definitely more than shooting porn, maybe comparable to doing like feature dancing at strip clubs. Like, it's definitely a tremendous source, and it's the main reason why girls these days in adult, they just have a lot more power than they did when I was in it. And yes, I wish I had an OnlyFans back then. There were platforms that were trying to be OnlyFans, but the biggest advantage OnlyFans has is it's all in one place. So a guy who likes certain different creators can subscribe to different girls and have it all in his same feed, just like Patreon. It has that sort of agglomeration effect, and that's what makes it so valuable. There's girls coming out saying, oh, I'm worried for my data privacy, I'm worried that my address is going to get leaked now, and it's just like, no, your personal information was not hacked. Because if it was, that would have come out with this leak, and it was not. This sort of hysteria over it is making, you know, customers potentially say, maybe I won't use OnlyFans, I don't want my data to be leaked, my privacy, like blah blah blah, and it's like, it's hurting therefore the girls. And obviously I'm going to be like, hey, don't hurt these bitches. They just hoes trying to make an income, man. Like, let them do their thing. Stop fucking with us. You don't like it? Don't pay for it. Don't be a douchebag trying to get it for free, man. So in light of all this happening, some of these OnlyFans girls, I mean, honestly, I think most girls weren't too bothered by it, but there were some talking about, oh, I'm going to sue and take legal action, and because of that they gave fodder to the incels, I'll call them, I guess, saying, oh, haha, look at these girls, they think they can sue over having their nudes, like, you know, stolen, as if their nudes are worth anything. And that's sort of the disposition being tossed out by some of these types of very disrespectful men, many of which are YouTubers. And hey, you know me, I'm not some raging feminist, I'm not all SJW. I will tell girls, hey, stop being a little bitch, get your shit together, don't act like an entitled victim. Like, I am on that camp. I'm also on the camp of, I'm not okay with slut shaming either, and that can fuck right off, and I will call you out all day long over it. So I think the biggest YouTuber who has kind of tried to denigrate these girls over this, which by the way, partially their fault for saying dumb things like they can sue over having their nudes. That's not a thing. What you can do is watermark all your photos and videos from now on, so that if it does get leaked, then people are like, oh, where can I see more of this? Oh, what's on this link? Oh, look, there's all this new stuff. I don't feel like pirating it or looking for it elsewhere. Oh, it's only $5 a month. Here you go, baby. You're sexy. I like your nudes. So just watermark it, bitches. Like, okay, that's what the internet people do these days. But in the process of sort of saying, haha, these girls think they can pursue legal action, blah, 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 Birdman and other YouTubers like him were basically saying, I don't understand why anybody pays for these girls' nudes. They're simps. These girls think they're content creators. Like, nudes and nude videos justify as content. That's not worth anybody's money. And all these cucks are only supporting them because they think that they'll get her attention or they'll get a date, but they're just, you know, beta cucks.
I really hate how loosely the word content is used on the internet now, man, because content on the internet nowadays is basically just mindless toilet humor like this video that you're watching right now, or girls posting nudes.
You should just accept it. This is part of what comes with your job. There's nothing you can do about it. The sooner that you just accept that it's gonna happen, I think the happier you will be.
I feel like I don't have to explain this viewpoint because I feel like it's pretty widely proliferated at this point. It's pretty gross to say that a girl who spends the time to go to the gym or do her hair, do her nails, find cute little outfits, figure out what makeup is most flattering for her, figure out what angles are most flattering. That's a whole thing. That's a whole production, you guys. And people are willing to buy it. Or even if she puts that on and they're willing to view it, guess what? That's content. And when it comes to anything in the world, I mean, I don't know if you guys know what a widget is, but I do, because I took economics classes. But in this world, anything is worth whatever people are willing to pay for it. So denigrating people for selling something that you think is worthless when other people are buying it makes you look stupid. It makes you look like you don't know the difference between micro and macroeconomics. That's what that looks like, my friends. This is a thing on YouTube, especially in the gaming community of, oh, these girls who are thoughts and e-girls are taking away from the real gamers because they're tricking guys into watching them when they could be watching actually talented gamers with their subpar, cheap content. Like, listen, if it's a girl on Twitch or wherever, and she looks pretty and she took the effort to look pretty and she makes the effort to interact with her audience and be entertaining and whatever that means for her, fuck off. She's not an e-girl, she's not a thought, she's a fucking business person just like anybody else, ninja or any kind of streamer or gamer or whatever. And by the way, most of these e-girl thoughts do like the video game. Okay, they might not always be some pro who like one-shots the whole map or whatever, but they like the game. Otherwise they'd find somewhere else to stream, or they go stream in IRL. And as long as people are willing to watch it, that doesn't make them simps or cucks or whatever. That just makes them people who want to watch that. I don't understand this culture of hate and disrespect around this subject. Like, if you're a real gamer who's talented and people aren't watching you, you can't blame that on girls with big boobs and nice smiles because they're getting more views with their big boobs and nice smiles. You can only blame that on maybe you're just not entertaining enough. You're not drawing people in and keeping them there for whatever reason. You're not entitled to viewers just because you're good at playing video games. That's not what that's for. Streaming is not just to flex on people and say, oh, look at what pro I am. That's not what it is. Streaming is an entertainment service, okay? And just like some people like watching Steven Crowder, and some people like watching a Game of Thrones, and some people like watching a lot of porn. Which, by the way, every e-girl or thought stream I've been in has been like, they've been at least cute or giggly, or, you know, she's playing a video game and she's interacting with her audience, or she's like, oh, thank you, Max, you're the best. Like, dude, some of these girls are so hot, I would pay for them to say, thank you, Paige, you're the best. I'd be like, thanks, girl. You know what I'm saying? It sounds hot. Like, I get entertainment for that too. Obviously, a lot of guys do. Doesn't make them cucks or simps, okay? It just makes them guys who maybe don't have women in their life doing that for them, okay? Or maybe they do and they don't ever get tired of hearing it. Maybe it makes them feel masculine to support girls online, you know, feel like they're helping her have a better livelihood. Men like to feel needed. Men like to feel necessary. They like to feel useful. And in this day and age with female empowerment stuff and girls can do anything and whatever, a lot of guys don't feel very helpful and useful. And that's where a lot of these girls on Twitch or Onlyfans or whatever, Patreon, they come in because they satisfy that craving for a lot of these guys. It's not because they're simps. A lot of them have wives, a lot of them have girlfriends and get sex and they have kids and like whatever, but for whatever reason supporting their favorite e-girl online just makes them feel a little manlier that day. It just makes them feel a little skip in their step. It's the same way they feel if a pretty girl asks them to open a jar, okay? And in a lot of cases it costs them $5 or $10. Like, it's worth it for a lot of them, you know? And on top of that, most of the girls are genuinely grateful. But I know the girls in porn are pretty grateful for Onlyfans and the guys who support them there, because it enables them to be able to say no to situations they don't want to be in the adult industry because they don't need it. They don't need that income. They have OnlyFans. And that brings me to this like sort of last point. I've already addressed really why OnlyFans is worth paying for. It's the centralization, period, end of story. The girls, whether you like it or not, whether you view it as being a respectable occupation or not, the girls are content creators. They are making content, and on some level that needs to be like respected. Porn's always gonna get stolen. There's always gonna be people trying to get it for free. But just like a lot of YouTubers, Patreons get stolen and videos that are on Patreons get disseminated elsewhere, they think that these women should not be viewed as content creators. I wanna know what the difference is between a girl who either performs an adult content or not, or maybe she just streams on Twitch and she has an extra Patreon. How is that different from supporting PewDiePie on Patreon if he had one, or Blair White? How is her content not worth buying, but other people who don't showcase their sexuality in their content is worth buying? Which, mind you, a lot of these e-girl thoughts, Patreons or OnlyFans, are a lot more active than a lot of YouTubers' Patreons. So what you're saying is like, a lot of these YouTubers have Patreons that barely get updated. Those are worth supporting. And by the way, they make a lot of money on them. It's just people who are supporting them because they like their content and they're not even really getting anything in return. Why is that okay? Why is that worth supporting? But the second a girl takes her top off, now she's a thought, now she's an e-girl, now she's a sellout, now she's not a good gamer, now she's, you know, some whore. Now let's calculate how many miles of dick she's taken because you can see her ass on OnlyFans. I mean, come on guys, like, let's definitely call out the radical radical feminists, let's definitely call out this culture of female victimization. But let's not denigrate women who are monetizing their sexuality simply because you can't also do the same, because we know you bitches would if you could. Again, speaking as a girl who has spent most of her life, until more recently, monetizing her life off of some form of sexuality. I was a stripper in college, then I did porn. It's not easy. It is not recruit difficulty, my friend. Of any of the internet occupations you can have, it's probably the hardest, because every single day somebody is like, oh, you have a weird body. Oh, your waist isn't small enough. Your boobs aren't nice enough. Oh, you have ugly scars. You know, you have to develop like such a thick skin. Oh, and then on top of people just shitting on your looks, no matter how pretty you are. I mean, shit, look at Lana Rhoades. She's like one of the most gorgeous girls ever, and even though she's had a lot of plastic surgery, still one of the most gorgeous girls ever, and she's just getting constantly shit on online about being fake or this. It makes no sense, right? She's one of the most gorgeous people on the planet. And then on top of that, you have people around you who treat you differently. I mean, damn, I remember when I was a stripper and I was dating this guy who still lived with his parents, because I was only 19 and he was in like community college, and I came over to his house and I was fully clothed on his bed teaching him algebra, because I knew algebra and he did not. I think his mom somehow found out about me, and she came home screaming at me to get out of her house. I'm some fucking whore. Which, by the way, I was just a stripper. Like, all I did was dance in a thong. Okay, get over it. That doesn't mean I'm fucking everybody. And I'm like, I'm just tutoring the guy in algebra. Clearly I'm smart. Clearly I'm doing something right. For the record, I was going to University of Florida and he was a community college guy. And I'm getting screamed at just because I worked at a strip club. It's not easier to be an e-girl or thought. You're not living on recruit difficulty just because a lot of guys will pay to see your naked boobs. That always has been the case, but it is very hard to be in those types of occupations, because you will forever and always be, until society gets over itself, kind of worthless whore to a major segment of the world. No matter how smart you are, no matter how driven you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how rich you are, like, doesn't matter. And if you're a girl, you're disease-ridden. If you've been promiscuous, you're, dirty in every sense of the word. But Johnny Sins is a legend. I hope I can challenge some of those ways of thinking, because it's not fair. And these females are not living on recruit difficulty. For some girls, it is definitely easier when you're young and pretty to make money off your sexuality. That only lasts so far. Yes, I guess I understand why some 22-year-old boys would be jealous of them, because they can't do the same. Which you could, boys. It just wouldn't be women paying for it. Yes, young, pretty girls can monetize being young and pretty, but only for so long. It comes with its own set of difficulties, and I don't think it's fair to write them off as being sellouts or being somehow less than. Perhaps at that point in time, their life is a little bit easier for them financially than yours might be, but it might not be easier. And I can almost guarantee you, it always will not be easier emotionally. Treat others as you want to be treated. Be respectful to all people, no matter their backgrounds, especially when chances are you know nothing about their life experience. Sorry for the more serious video, but definitely wanted to comment on this craze. I love you guys so much. Please subscribe, like I said, because I really, really want to grow, and YouTube's making it really hard because YouTube no longer values subscriptions in any sense of the word, but I definitely really value it. Primary way that I can grow is from doing collabs with other YouTubers, because the algorithm does not like me. And to do that, I would need to grow my channel and show that I have something to offer to those types of people. So love you guys so much. I'm out.